All right, so let's talk about Maui.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Maui. I want to start off with some hopeful messages about Maui, right?
All right.
And this is some really cool stuff. This is Tom Segura, your mom's house. He had a message that he put out.
Hey, I wanted to give you an update on the shirt sales we did to raise money to help provide for the people.
If you remember that episode with Charo.
So good.
I want to talk about Hawaii. I just want to talk about Hawaii. And so they made that shirt, and then, yep, like we said before, they sold all of those and donated all the profit to charity.
Maui, who have suffered from these devastating fires. The profit from the shirts was $37,555.
So in profit, $37,000, $555. $37,555. I don't know why I said dollars twice.
So we're donating that, and then I said I would match it. So I'm donating the equal amount. So now we are donating $75,110, and potential matches may come from other donors. So this donation is potentially worth over $150,000. We're donating all of it to the Maui Fund. I'm a Howard. I don't know how to say it correctly. Going to Hawaii, specifically the island of Maui. Thank you again for getting a shirt.
So super awesome.
Yes.
Tens of thousands, if not more dollars. I haven't seen anybody else like on Twitter matching those things there. Theo Vaughn, he got wind of this guy for a Good Fight Foundation, donating $10,000 to the Maui Food Bank.
Nice.
Theo decided he was going to match that with another $10K. Jelly Roll saw Theo's, and he also threw in another $10K to that.
Fuck yeah. Gang, he said.
Gang. So people are doing what the federal government has completely failed to do. They're raising tons of fucking money for these people, and it's awesome.
Which is a nice callback to the Barstool Small Business Fund during COVID, when all the small businesses were being shut down and limited to pickup orders only. Barstool raised over $100 million that they were giving out individually to small businesses to help them stay alive during COVID.
But a lot of them were pizza shops.
Yes, they were. But a lot of it was restaurants, like specifically, because those were some of the businesses that were impacted. So like the worst.
Because Barstool's in New York, right?
They're based out of New York, yeah.
Okay.
And so that was a big thing, obviously, is like you can only pick up shit now. You know, you can't go sit down anywhere. So yeah, there was businesses all over the country, but it was a lot of restaurants. Yes.
Rogan talks about it a lot whenever he talks about COVID and stuff like that from LA. 70% of restaurants in LA went under because of COVID, because of the mandates. That Newsom handed down.
And a lot of that shit happened here too. There was tons of businesses here that closed during COVID. That just, restaurants in particular, that just got them. They just couldn't make it through with trying to keep all their employees and also just doing pickup orders, you know?
Yeah.
Because the quality of the food also went down, not by any of their own fault, but if you're taking shit home, if you have to drive it home, it's not as good. No. It's just not going to be as good, regardless of how you present it.
It's not fresh out the kitchen, man.
No. So it's the experience is gone, you know?
Yeah. Part of the reason people go out to restaurants is to get the experience and sit down and have a nice time and then have hot food brought out for you or whatever it is.
And few things are just as good when you get them home.
That's right. That is right.
The things that are already delivered, Chinese food, fucking pizza, all of these things are just fine when they get to your house.
Because they're kind of designed to do that.
Precisely.
Yep. Some other cool stuff that's going on. There's a guy, his name's Nick Sorter. And he was actually recently on an episode of Timcast.
Looks like it.
Hence his profile pic there. But it was like right after that episode, he was flying out to Maui to start doing some on-the-ground reporting. And he's been, I got a bunch of his tweets here from reporting that he's done on the ground over there, interviewing locals, talking to people, trying to get access to places, trying to figure out what the fuck is actually going on, because nobody is talking about what's going on.
I can attest to that in trying to just get Maui updates for this show. It's very difficult. If you just type in, you can type in Ukraine updates, and it will immediately give you all the things. All of the news websites have dedicated pages where they just host all of the articles about Ukraine now that they're putting out. And so that's what comes up. If you type in Maui updates, the same thing does not happen. No. There is not an organized index for all of the different news websites for the copious amounts of reporting that should be being done on Maui.
Which
You have to.
There's red flags that kind of start flying when I start running into that.
You have to look into specific things to try and find information about whatever it is. So
yeah,
I don't even have generalized updates of like they're doing pretty good. All I have is really bad shit because that's what I have to look up. These are questions that we got in the comments that I have to look up, and I don't know fucking anything else.
Right.
You know.
And luckily we had an official update from the actual governor himself.
Yeah.
Which didn't really paint a big picture, but there were some timelines, there were some numbers, and then there was a lot of really questionable stuff that came from that. But one of the things that's going on here,
a lot of the information they're saying is like very confirmed is still mad sus, you know,
super sus, dude.
Because there's a lot of still contradicting numbers and stuff when they're saying this is the official number, but other groups are like, actually, it's not.
Exactly, and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
but Nick Sorta here pointed out the dichotomy, and there's two different types of billionaires, right? One is Elon Musk, who shipped over 650 Starlink internet kits to 40+ organizations across Maui in order to reconnect victims.
Which is a ton.
Yes, and the other is like Oprah, who is funneling money into one of her organizations from middle-class folks on social media. Yep. So that's fun, and literally not doing almost anything for the people. I haven't met a single person here on Maui that's gotten a dime from Oprah, but I've met dozens that have benefited tremendously from SpaceX's internet connection. And so we've got a bunch of pictures here of the SpaceX organization handing out Starlinks, getting them set up.
That's pretty
getting the people connected. This is a cool. It's a because SpaceX will come out. I'm sure they have like some Tesla battery probably stuff too. And so they're offering charging and Wi-Fi.
That's a list of the places that are being covered by that particular Starlink connection.
Yeah, like you can go in and be able to get access at Starlink and a couple. These are like stores and different things.
Cool, dude.
Very, very cool stuff going on here. Again, private sector though. And
Starlink is sick as fuck. I know I'm talking about this a ton of times. I don't know if anybody has seen it before, but
Buddy Matt's got one.
To see Starlink in the sky, like to see that string of satellites, is cooler than fuck.
It is pretty cool, man.
You can't always see it with the naked eye. I've only seen it one time with my naked eye, but it is cool as shit.
Yeah.
It'll freak you out if you don't know what it is, but it's cooler than hell.
And have you ever seen a Starlink uplink, like a dish? That's what they look like right there. They're just a white panel like that.
Because you can get it at your house. You can just buy one and have it at your house, yeah?
When you're heading out today, there's that stretch on the highway that is just trees, and there's like the big deforested area over on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
If you look on the left, there's a Starlink dish somebody's got out, propped up on the top of like the little hill next to the ditch, and that's
fucking
he's hitting his Starlink. Buddy Matt's got one at his house. It works real nice.
My neighbor's Starlink is smashing ass. That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's very cool. The only thing, because I was talking to Matt about it, and download speeds are pretty good. Upload speeds rough. The Jeremy handling of the quartering, he has like 6 or 8 of them, I think, that he got that you can actually chain together in some kind of thing to get better. And so he's able to have a backup for actually uploading and doing live stuff. But
it's pretty fucking cool, dude.
But yeah, at the end of the day, moral of the story here is the
cost. I'm sorry to keep
a single person is doing really, really, really good shit for this.
Yeah,
where a bunch of the famous people are just raising money,
right,
to not really do anything.
And the cost of Starlink is going down all the time, right?
Yeah.
Just the more shit that they make and sell, the less and less it's costing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like any new technology.
Yeah.
When big screen TVs first came out, they were only for the very wealthy. And then the more they bought them, they were able to lower costs down, manufacture more. And that's how you get the $350 50-inch TV at Walmart. You know, get that shit on fake rollback for $2.99.
Because with Starlink, do you buy the thing and then you just pay X amount monthly for the connection, or
yeah, it's like a standard internet provider. Like you have to buy the package and the initial setup, which is hefty. Yeah, because you're buying all your own hardware. But then after that, you're just rolling.
That is damn cool.
Damn it, I have to pee again. So I have this is a little look at, I know it's problematic.
No, I want to talk about Oprah really quick, so don't worry about that. Okay,
please.
Because you brought it up, well, I have it anyway.
Because fuck Oprah.
Yeah, so Oprah and The Rock, they are taking heat from a couple of different zones, right? One of them together is because they made that video in which Colin posted a screenshot from, in which they're advocating for, not even advocating, they're asking for people to donate to support Maui, right? And they a decent amount of money depending on how you look at it. Compared to the amount of wealth that the two of them own collectively, it's an extremely small amount of money, especially considering the fact that they're asking other people who are struggling, as we covered in part 1, to pay their bills, to take money out of their own pockets to pay for these things. Of course, if you have extra money, you should donate to Maui. If you are in a position to do anything for the people that are struggling, you should be doing that. That goes for your everyday life. If you're in a position to help other people, you should be doing that, right? So I'm not at all saying that regular working class people shouldn't be donating and helping Maui. The critique that many people have of Oprah is the tone-deaf nature in which this call for donations from the working class comes, especially in comparison to the relatively small amount of money they donated themselves. There are some other unverifiable criticisms coming on Oprah as well. And I'm trying to find the numbers really quick of what her and The Rock donated. And I have it here. I just had to find the article. So let's see. $10 million in relief funds for residents impacted by the wildfires. And there's someone that was talking about like what percentage of their income this was, because it's less than 1% of their donation. Oh, it's making their donation worth less than 1% of their total wealth, because they're worth nearly $3 billion combined.
Jesus. But you know,
so again, $10 million is obviously a lot of money, but in comparison, whatever, I'm not going to fucking sit here and be like, you guys aren't doing enough. I'm simply covering the criticisms that they're getting from other people, because
Donovan's out here like, pay your fair share, bitches.
I just don't. I don't feel comfortable saying shit like that. Like, of course. I don't know. I think it's a totally fair criticism, but $10 million is an awful lot of money, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get that for sure.
Yes. So I have another article here that is from the Atlanta Black Star that I will send to you, because it covers some allegations that Oprah Winfrey hired private
fire department
firefighters,
right?
Yes, to cover her estate during the Maui fires.
Mm-hmm. I have heard such things.
Yes.
This blasphemous nonsense from that wonderful woman. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So to be totally full disclosure and everything, I don't have a ground news update for the Atlanta Black Star, so I don't have any background on that. It seems as though it is a reputable newspaper. We can Google it really quick and see what the deal is.
The News Guard or something like that.
Yeah, because I have some other shit. I had to look up Popular Mechanics because it sounded like it was legit, and I was like, oh, it's definitely legit.
Black Star.
Yeah, the Atlanta Black Star.
All sides, bias rating, they are showing a lean to the left, which is kind of your standard operating procedure for...
Okay, but they're reputable, yeah?
Yeah, and only -2, so it's not too shabby.
Okay, cool. That's all that I'm looking for,
Yep.
is just to make sure that they're not some weird fucking offshoot, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so let's get to it. Oprah Winfrey faces accusations of hiring firefighters to protect her massive estate during Maui wildfire after requesting donations for displaced victims who lost their homes. Oprah Winfrey is being accused of doing everything she can to protect her Hawaii estate from the unprecedented wildfires that devastated the island of Maui in August. Multiple social media users have posted videos alleging that she hired a private team of firefighters to stave off the flames from damaging her 2,000-plus acres of land. Not to mention, many are still outraged that the former talk show host publicly visited shelters where the displaced residents sought refuge after losing their homes. That is true. She tried to bring camera crews in, and they turned her away.
Shut it down.
A widely shared TikTok video claims that Winfrey hired the team before the fires even started, and then instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you hired a private security team to keep them off of your land. Winfrey has been a part-time resident of Maui for more than 15 years. The video goes on to take aim at shady real estate deals that are targeting displaced residents. That's happening. We talked about that last episode. One ex-user alleges that those same deals helped the mogul purchase her massive plot of land for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, I'm sure.
Quote, "You're so concerned about Maui, but instead of taking what would amount to a year's salary for you and 4 or 5 of your billionaire friends, which would be used to rebuild the entire place in a matter of months, you're jumping on social media and asking the American public, most of whom can't afford to pay their rent right now, to do it for you." Continue the video. Like I said, completely fair criticism.
Yep.
Winfrey long has been criticized for taking up land ownership in the tourist hotspot. In the wake of the recent devastation, locals call on her and her notable wealthy people and other notable wealthy people to help her with recovery efforts. Along with purchasing items for the displaced, she also partnered with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to launch the People's Fund of Maui. The megastars donated $5 million each, but also asked the public to help out. The money reportedly will go directly to residents impacted by the fires. Yeah, I bet. Allowing them to have agency over their own needs. In a video, Winfrey said each resident over the age of 18 will receive $1,200 a month for 6 months or until the relief fund is depleted. Still, critics have taken issue with the multimillionaire actor and billionaire mogul asking everyone to donate. If you two don't take your Hollywood elite behinds to other Hollywood elite friends and politician buddies that got millions like you do and help out Maui, you are out of your damn mind, said one woman. They could have just give them the money. The donation will be to raise money for a corrupt cause, thinly veiled as a good one, commented another critic. It's definitely a quote by a regular person. Yeah. Despite users suggesting that both celebs disable comments on Maui-related posts, I bet they do, users are still able to sound off beneath content both related and unrelated to the natural disaster. As shown in his own post shared on September 1st, Johnson traveled to Maui to speak with locals about the heartbreak there enduring. The former WWE star is of Samoan descent, and his family ties to Hawaii, where her mother was born and raised.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
The former WWE star,
which would be
of
The Rock,
descent and has family ties to Hawaii, where her mother was born and raised.
He also pledged to continue donating to the island as the island rebuilds. Come on, Black Star. On September 3rd, Winfrey shared an update regarding the fund, stating that 10,000 people already had donated and thousands of residents signed up to receive the much-needed financial assistance. There might not be a fucking dime that goes to anybody besides the fucking residents of Maui.
Because I bet you, yeah, somebody's got to operate and run the fund, right?
Yes.
There needs to be a team of people that are going to draw salaries.
And if their compensation is any more than $1,200 a month, then fuck them.
Yeah. That's rough, dude. And $1,200 a month is not much, by the way, especially living in fucking Hawaii.
No.
That's not much at all.
No. Okay, so as far as the private firefighter service, there is certainly a capitalist argument that if you have the money, you should be able to hire a private firefighter service when all things are set and equal, right? The complications to this particular discussion come with the water restrictions, that people who owned houses couldn't use their own hoses to try and save their own houses, right? When that's the case, you shouldn't be able to hire entire firefighting services. And we can't fully verify this yet. And part of that is because of the limitation of information that is coming out of Maui.
The super shadiness?
We only are getting stories from people who live there, right? There is very little news coverage coming from this island since the fires are out.
We know way more every day about Ukraine and the goings-on of Ukraine than we do about what's going on in our own in one of our own states.
Hawaii is a hell of a lot closer than Ukraine.
Yeah, and it's fucking out there, but it's still not that far compared to Ukraine.
Yes. And
again, one of the 50 states of the United States. It's not even like a Puerto Rico thing where it's not technically a
territory,
state.
right.
No, this is still, this is our shit. These people have representatives and senators that vote in Congress.
There are also these accusations that the firefighting services were there before the fires even started, right? There are a lot of questions and whatever. I wish that we had a different term besides conspiracy theory, because that's been like soiled so much, you know, because so many conspiracy theories have borne out to be true that I don't want to label any new idea or accusation as conspiracy because that has such a negative connotation to it.
There's a new term being thrown around on the internet now about conspiracy theories, because so many of them do come true. We just start calling them spoiler alerts now. So it's just a new spoiler alert, but it's not exactly that fitting.
No, but we should, even as just a show, we should come up with something. A way that we're going to refer to this stuff, because we'll get to a really good example in a few minutes, right? But this is a good example that with all of the questions of the suspicious nature of the circumstances surrounding the fires on Hawaii or on Maui, I'm not going to discount anybody until we have more information. As crazy as anybody sounds, I'm not going to do that.
Because we know the depths that the government has done before.
I'm not going to bolster any ideas that I also can't confirm because I don't want to look like a fucking idiot if you guys turn out to be wrong and I said, well, it was a goddamn laser or something, you know?
The potential happenings, as Brian says.
Yes. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah. So that's one thing. We'll have to see what goes on with these accusations, but it doesn't look good that someone's saying that.
Yeah.
You know?
Because even if it is true, right, that would be fine. The rich people have private...
I'm talking about if she had firefighters before the fire started. How do you know? Why do you have a private firefighting service if there's no fires yet on the island? Why are there firefighting services on your property? That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
If that's true, then we have to wait to find out about that. I mean, it certainly doesn't look good that someone's saying that we saw firefighters on your property before the fires were even burning the island.
Because I wonder if there's like a regular occurrence, if they do have relatively regular wildfires, which is not as devastating, that would explain you might want something like that, maybe, because she's up in the hills, up in the grasslands, and, you know, very combustible area. You know, there's some things that could make sense. But, yeah, you'd have to look in to see how often that kind of stuff does happen. But even then, you know, rich people having something like that, the real question in my mind would be like, that's fine and all. You can have your own fire department. You can have your own fucking thing. You could run your own fucking town. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But I do wonder, because water access is so important out there and it's so fought after, how do you, as this one person, have enough water access to have your own fire department?
Right.
So that would be my other next question. So let's see here. Here's from this University of Hawaii. Hawaii State Wildfire History. Summary. Wildfire Management Organization led a multi-year, multi-partner effort with a fire response agencies and resource managers to create compatible reporting among agencies. Oh my God. I just want a fucking chart that says how often they come.
Just Google that. Just Google frequency of Hawaii wildfires.
Yeah, let's do that. Frequency. Frequency of Hawaii wildfires. Hawaii went from an averaging one federally declared fire disaster every 9 years or so to one a year on average since 2004. The fires on Maui reminded native Hawaiians, so on and so forth. The state's largest ever fire which burned through his family. Okay, that's the stupidest thing I've ever read. So went from one every 9 years to on average one a year. And that's in the entire state combined.
Yeah. Which is not that many relative to some other, like California, like Kevin is saying. Like
that would not justify somebody having their own private fire department. But,
no.
But hey, I don't know.
So we'll have to see if more information comes out about that. Welcome to the south of the streets, coming at you every week with